Right, what's up, yins, guys? I'm gonna do another video about that subject of gang stalking there, and this is some important shit I kind of want to talk about because once you experience it, like I recently did, usually, you get people like, okay, in a lot of your towns, give or take, maybe yours or mine, there is a thing where people are cracking down on. People walking around high or drunk or whatever. But I always thought, even in my town, they do that shit mostly at night. But I have told people everything from the librarian when I go to the library and friends around there that know, I got friends both black and white, everybody knows. You kind of, if you get stopped by the cops, you kind of try not to take it personally because, I always say, man, there's like people want to smoke the marijuana or whatever, like the smell people are used to smelling, like Black Sabbath Sweet Leaf. Now there are people out there you can smell shit like sometimes walking in my streets or maybe some of yours, that shit that smells like skunk or some of this other shit. I don't know how the fuck people can smoke that shit like it would be radiating out of people's cars. I don't give a shit what other people do. I stay out of people's business, which that is why any of you guys that saw my other videos, I'm not just some paranoid crackpot like they accuse you guys of being or some troll accused me of being. I'm more realistic where, hey, maybe some of you watching, yeah, you drink a beer once in a while, it's not a crime, and some people smoke a joint and they're waiting for the marijuana to get legal. I say nothing against it. I don't care, but if people want to legalize it for people being sick, I'm all for it. I don't want to make this entire marijuana video. But then our governor wants to legalize it recreational, which I think, I'm not against it. Anybody wants to smoke other stuff, I just don't. I think it will be a disaster because as it is, police could have crackdowns as it is. Somebody had beer. It says I got stopped once and I don't even drink. It's in the daytime. And what I want to basically, but I know everybody knows this, and say you get stopped by a police officer, there is going to be a thing. They don't have to say please. They can say, they have to remind you in some case whether they got something personal or not, and say, assume a position they want to check you out or whatever, and they have to have a say, I don't even think about it, or I will take your ass down or knock your ass out. It goes with the territory. So you try not to take it personally, but I'm one of them people that, that shit never happened in a long time. Cops pull over one time, and in my town, I got all kind of people that know me. They know everything I do, my patterns, and I'm walking around like you see in my videos with hands full of dandelions, and I'm making tea. You know what I mean? I don't know if they think that I never checked on the legality in the state. Say people make dandelion wine. It's on YouTube, and there's even kits where you can brew your own beer. But I never checked on. Wherever you live, check on your laws where you're allowed to actually legitimately do that, and whether you do that or dandelion wine. But I don't make the wine. I don't got the place to do all that shit. I just make the tea. But much as they could get me for, like, as if they even knew half of that, grab a bunch of dandelions, which I'm pulling their weeds for them. Some people could be thinking, oh, why stop him? But technically, if they saw me doing that, or picking like mint off of a place, a certain kind of a building, I could get in trouble. I could get cited for trespassing at the very least. But anyway, I had that happen, and I took it personally. Well, anyway, the cop goes and says, I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, I'm kind of like, oh, hello. Yeah, did I do something? Could I help you or something like that? And anyway, next week, assume the position. And of all days, I'm fucking lucky he brought my ID because I got library card and other stuff in there to see who I am. And it's like, imagine there could have been all kind of shit I would have told my name, and they probably could have technically run me in and give me, sit there all day to get face matches, whatever they do with computers now. But I'm going to tell you one other thing too, about the gang stalking that's real, that if you're watching this and like I am, even if you're clean like I do, I was on jury duty. I work work where construction work, if I get a couple assignments in a whole month's time, or maybe one assignment a week, or a couple assignments a month at a certain dollar amount, my rent gets paid, and I got some dollars to get, toilet paper, all that junk. That's a least case scenario. I'm telling you the least case scenario. But then I recently done some work that somebody found out that I'm good at taking stuff apart, so I was working at this guy's shop, and anyway, I was carrying stuff up steps, so I think I might have been getting the wobbles because I'm carrying some heavy items like motors up their steps that I took apart from stuff. Old jute boxes. I take the boards out, take the heat sink out, take the stuff that I don't know what they do. They want get some to refurbish it, the parts, and then people like somebody be doing 1-800 got junk at another level. But yeah, I'm carrying up steps, and you're gonna get, if you're doing any work carrying, maybe it looks like that. I don't know, but part of me is almost like somebody like, I believe in there's I'm surprised that the cop don't just follow you for a while first, but it's almost like he pulls in right by me, like he's getting out, like he's outraged, like he's like somebody called and whatever the hell else they said. He didn't say nothing else, but he only thing he said, somebody called him and I was walking around drunk. I mean, I was at the library for a while, and then when I was stopped on the street in fucking daylight, I was like on my way to get milk. So after it's all over, I go to the gas station, the store, I get 4-gallon jugs of milk, 2 in each hand. And I met a friend there, was one of my neighbors. I told him what happened. I'm like, you realize what the hell happened to me in damn daylight? But yeah, I understand they have those crackdowns. I didn't know they're doing it in daylight now. But yes, I do believe you do smell shit in this town. I don't mix and I don't pay no attention. But yeah, I don't know how else some people could smoke that other shit and make you nauseated. But there's a thing in the back of my head too, that when they say drunk, okay, to make it fair, a cop, they're going to be a damn stranger, he don't know you. I'm all outraged. I'm like, what? Everybody fucking knows my things, and maybe he don't. But it's like, there is the thing where some of you guys do these videos too, which they are out there. You got the informants that call the cops. It's not just some person call the cops or whatever. But I told the cop the only thing I remember to go to the accusation, I volunteered it. I technically jaywalked, and I'm like, well, there's people who go too fucking fast down this avenue. They don't enforce it, but you could, if they wanted to, they'd get you for jaywalking. But everybody, even older people, I would rather have them not cross that street. There's older people that kind of have their little wheelchairs or they have canes. And what I do, I go across the street, and it's like these cars are over there. But sometimes the traffic's so thick, even on a crosswalk. But then there's a distance from the cars. And so there was this one car one time. There's plenty of time to get walked by, and then all of a sudden he speeds up, and I don't know, he was nowhere near me, and there was this beeping. But I get that every once in a while. I didn't think nothing, but I volunteered it to him. I told him, maybe it's that. I was assuming the guy in the car did it. It can be somebody in a car that didn't like you or something too. I don't know, but you got people out there too that, yes, you got snitches out there that make good money. There's like, you got these informants, they go and report people that are walking around. You don't see them, but they're there. And the police do act on that. And you imagine you got some of them. And to be fair, they are catching the people that way. That's why they do it. I mean, even if you didn't do nothing, you don't have to take it personal all the time. Well, maybe they get you once and they know, oh, you ain't into that shit. And they can check you again. Well, they do the thing. You want to look up your nose. You put your head back and says, see if you've got any powder on your nose. And good thing I wasn't eating, a powdered donut, because holiday times I have like the Salvation Army that gives free donuts and coffee. And I was recently said I got enough of free time on certain days in the month. I just go down there help in the food kitchen, because I know some months that, like I said, the kind of line of work I do, you get to pick and choose the assignments, and I don't drive. I do something by bus or whatever. And like I said, I get where, you get enough, say, to pay your rent or whatever. And the lady at an agency will save jobs just for you if you know them real well. And there are days you got to say, if just in case you get a month that even in the summer or springtime that ain't that great, well, we splurged and bought a pizza because some other guy I knew in the shop, like I said, get some extra money. But usually you don't want to splurge all the time because you may have a slower month and you get like you may need that for your rent. But like, and I'm telling people 20 years ago, I had like these people, like I told you in my other videos, the gang stalking and all that. I got lucky and landed a job with pretty good paying money. I lived across a fucking restaurant for 10 years. And people knew me. I didn't have no trouble with police, I mean, police go in the restaurant. You're eating there every fucking day. I mean, because it was easier. I had the money. I just whipped it out. People probably give me dirty looks, like I said, like I'm some kind of drug dealer or something. And I was younger in my 20s and a fool, thought that I was going to have the job forever. I pissed it all away. I bought fancy CD changers. Man, I got dirty looks from certain people. Oh, that person with that long hair. Or, the classic old generation. Hey, he got long hair and money. Why ain't the police stop going after him? Confiscating all his belongings and taking out and seizing that money. Man, this whole system is corrupt. They don't see the corruption of the system the way some of us do. I mean, well, I make that joke because, I mean, yeah, you're younger and you long hair and listen to Alice Cooper. You get the shit. You know what I mean? But I'm one of those, like I told you, even when I was doing well, your money goes farther. The first thing you want is food. And I go after food and I have it. So now I'm like freaking 47 years old, right? People want to pull shit on me. I almost want to wish I could grab a job like that so I can walk around with long hair even though I'm balding and a ponytail and walk with a smirk on my face. But I'm kind of, in a way, I'm kind of too old for that shit now, and I want to okay, I make this job and try to get respect and work for a little charity around here, get the rent paid. If I get some busting my ass. I mean, those fucking jobs are harder to get. I sign up for some that I'd like to have, and they're harder to go get. I even got fucking, since I did Salvation Army Kettle in the wintertime because I liked it and all that. And like I said, so I made friends and all that, and then that polite smile was also a smirk and this to my enemies. Making a name for yourself in public is your best protection. If you have, you will get stalked if you have a relative that has a big rap sheet. Or if you're one of them person watching, which I'm not judging, you did something wrong one time. You've been in jail or prison, maybe you did one time. Yes, naturally you're going to get stalked. The gang stalking is real. It isn't like those trolls. People watch you, but yet there's double standards too. You get the other culture right there. There are hypocrites out there too. It's not just for the police, like I said too. The people, their territory, their little drug subculture that in some of our towns, unlike the cities, they keep it pretty, quiet. They're discreet about it. And my town isn't like, it's freaking, downtown Chicago or Detroit or something. But, low profile stuff, there is places you don't just be always going around. It's not no big gang violence. But there's some places that if you don't need to be somewhere, you do your shit and stick with a certain pattern you are in. Don't bother anybody. You don't see nothing. You got friends you walk by, and that fucking simple. But you got people on the other side of the tracks, paranoid and protective about their shit. They have their secret little operations, and they want to smoke whatever other junk they smoke or sell. And I don't even want cigarettes or even beer. People, they don't fucking know that, or some people knew and they think. Maybe some people do know, and they're like, "Oh, they want to just get you one time." And, well, maybe they need to know, and they're like, "Oh, they check you one time," which I have no problem with. But you always get that person out there, since you get some asshole giving you dirty looks almost, and they can even be on your social media giving you dirty ass looks, maybe right be downtown, or somebody out there, that, oh, he thinks he's better than the rest of us, he must be dirty. We'll find something on him, or like I regard it. I put messages out there because not mad at the police, because I took it as a what do you call it? an insult, like using the cop to insult me. You know, they probably figure the cops are going to say, hey, somebody called and say you're drunk. And that's what it actually, yeah, it pissed me off a little bit. I was like, cop doing what you got to do with people's word, and they're informants. And whether you think they're out to get you or not, that trick is working. There's informants that are calling, and they could stop you on the fucking street now and do whatever. And you're going to like, as long as they don't find anything, you don't got nothing to worry about. But there's always this thing, you know, if you're somebody that even don't do anything and they think that you think you're smart or they think you're better than the rest of them, that for an excuse, you always wondered that if you get smart, you might get abducted and sitting in some station and they find some shit on you, you know what I mean? So, yeah, arrests, but like abductions under the guise of arrest, which yeah, you stay out of people's business or whatever. You get, well, most of it is just a jealous shit where, oh, let's get him arrested. And you got people, one of my points too is you got those people calling the cops that do that shit all the time, whether they were actually an informant or not. You know, the neighbor related busybody gang stalking. They literally, you get these people, whether they want to say you're a crackhead, you're this or that, no matter how you disprove them and you're seen, you know, doing good things, they're fucking in their apartment somewhere. They probably got a little secret church with candles and a prayer rug and chanting the mantra. So and so is a crackhead. Like, and they don't care if you disprove them. We're your buddies. We'll stand by you. You know, we won't let that creep make you a fool out of you. We'll just, you know. Then you got some of these fuckers that do call the cops too, that they're the busybodies, you know. Somebody that maybe used to work with somewhere that drives by and beeps and yells something out of the car, right? And you got to wonder, maybe I'm being sarcastic, but if I was a comedian on stage, I'll damn say this like a Henry Rollins, you know what I mean? If Henry Rollins wants to steal this joke, let him. I mean, they're probably calling the cops, right? And I can picture them, they're probably naked behind the wheel of their car, one hand on the steering wheel, and a hands-free headset, one hand on the steering wheel and one hand on their probably masturbate, and you want to wonder if the cop on the other end of the phone probably hears them breathing in the phone, and he's probably like, what the fuck? Oh, we'll check him out, you know. And maybe they could say shit that'll make a cop mad enough. Instead, the cop will usually follow you first and see. They don't just come right up, you know, in a car, you know. But one other thing that I will add, I was going to add this in another video, but I want to say this separately, that I said this is a warning to certain other people too. I want to say this in another video, that there's people making the news. They're threatening kids, threatening to blow up schools, threatening to shoot you up. And I wonder what the fuck you're doing. Don't be doing that shit. And there's always people, disgruntled people in the workplace threatening to do this or that. Don't let anybody say shit like that. I had a guy joke with me one time. He made me cringe. A place I got fired from doing push-ups. He was a nice guy. I kind of liked the guy, but you got to wonder. You got these people that are nice to you. They're passive-aggressive, and they think that shit's funny. I had this guy say, I have a backpack because I rode a bike to work. And he goes, oh, you don't got a bomb in there, do you? And I cringed. I know and I just grinned like an idiot. I'm like, but if it was somebody else at work that don't really like me, and part of me almost wanted to say, hey, even they're your friend, but I should have said, hey, dude, you know, that shit ain't funny. Quit. Don't do that shit. But if it's somebody you don't like at work, it could be joking, and all of a sudden, the damn boss people call you and have you busted, you know. In some of them cases, that's when they can come in there with rifles and throw your ass on the ground, because if they think there's a threat, you know, because that shit people do is real. Which reminds me, and any of you guys, you got to be careful. We got to discourage anybody that makes shit up like that. We don't do that shit. There's other people that do that shit. Don't be threatening that shit online. Don't say that at work. But we do got to discourage anybody that thinks it's cute. What creeps me out is a person, whether it's a workplace or a neighbor, on a he said, she said stuff. Oh, he said he was going to, you know, a bomb. He said he's going to shoot something up. And the idea that they can just, he said, she said thing, and somebody can, you know, SWAT team come in your house. And my girlfriend got medical problems. Like, I don't think that would happen, but I got a girlfriend, or if any of you guys, have a girlfriend or somebody or wife or something that has medical problems and they can't be thrown down or anything. Which goes to my thing that you should, like I warn people, and I don't even, one of them trolls on the internet don't like me, I wouldn't wish this shit on you. But I tell you one thing, if you were in my workplace, you better pay attention to this. If you ever fucking on a they probably don't do anything, but like I said, people are stupid enough to say shit online. Yeah, they can maybe raid, throw you down on the ground and stop you and throw you down on the ground, police, because it's a real threat and they got to worry that something can happen to them, whether you like the authorities or not. You got tactical soldiers that, you know, it's not getting any safer around some places. I'm glad I don't live in these other cities. But I would say right now, if you were somebody watching right now and you were in my workplace, and you manage to get me thrown down and I have any bones broken or you buy a he said, she said bombing or drug thing to get people busting in my house and get thrown down and say, I got a girlfriend that, you know, has medical problems, she can get hurt and they don't know. And they, you know, they just throw you down because, you know, the threat can real. They probably think, yeah. And on the news, they'd be getting people with guns, they catching them. But if you're working like next to me somewhere and you're a neighbor and you fucking do that shit to me, it's not the cops that I would be concerned, and because in my book, they're the ones that get agitated. They'd be second on the list. I mean, for one thing, people and cops, they most likely put you under surveillance. They can see, they find a way to scope you out first, you know what I mean? Because there was that shit going on SWAT, that they caught a guy, SWAT, and got somebody killed. It was called swatting. They got him and they put him away. But if you do, anyway, if anybody does that shit to me, you don't do that shit to your neighbors. You don't do that shit to your coworkers. You don't threaten the shit. If you fucking do that to me, I won't see the cops. I will go to whatever state, the Attorney General's office, I promise you. And I don't know how, if you look on there, that a lawyer you get can do that. But I'll do anything I can, make it public, to try to force. If you try to do that as an anonymous caller, or you see something, say something, and you're an anonymous caller, and you do that fucking shit to me maliciously, I'll get the attention to anybody. I don't care if it's federal, state, the Attorney General's office. I can say that because I got a clean record. If you're watching this and you were in some kind of trouble, went to prison once, not in a bad way, you can't quite threaten what I do. You can try, but they may not listen to you. As it is, I got relatives. But anyway, I'll do what I have to do to get a court to get them trace phone records, even though you're anonymous, and find you, because I think they can do that. If they catch people doing that, it's against the law. They can get put away too. But I promise you, if you do anything beyond that, I will have you found. That you will be selling if you have a house and a car and you got more money than me, you will be selling your fucking house and car. And let's see. I mean, to get the fucking job done, I like to say that I will use the money to build, say, my proposed church, my whatever, do whatever. But just to get the fucking job done, to get your ass, I'd give the fucking attorney 90% of the fucking money. You will fucking get it. Yeah, you better, yeah. But I think too, and there's people that do that shit, it's illegal. And if anybody's threatened something online, you know, or says something, you shouldn't do that. I don't want to discourage anybody from reporting real threats either. But I always say I walk around with a chip on my shoulder and do little things at work that are good for you. And you get prejudiced people in the workplace. I preach about this all the time. That they're a paranoia they're teaching, you know what I mean, too. That you make somebody feel smaller or whatever. You do some kind of exercise or whatever during the workplace or whatever. Or you walk around with too much a chip that you get this supervisor that doesn't like you that much, or coworkers don't like you enough, that they can report you as a suspicion because all they have to do is feel threatened. And it gets to a point, it's creepy now, where you don't have to do shit or say shit, that if somebody out there feels threatened or there's some kind of suspicion that's even created, they can if they don't, there's nothing wrong with authorities surveilling you first. I don't care. I mean, on matter of fact, people say the surveillance is unconstitutional. It is to a point. But I would rather have them fucking do that, quietly do that, than fucking, come right after you like that, too. Because there are people that they don't like you the way you look, yo. If they could, they will, they're jealous of you. They will have, like, say they want to just hit you or whatever. Oh, that person with that long hair, how, like I said, even when I was doing well, some of my years I was doing well, making good money. Oh, I would like to punch him and knock his teeth right down his throat. But they don't. Well, they know they go to jail, or they don't want to do it, or they don't know if they can. So what do they try to do? Set up a thing where get a cop to do it for you. And if they don't try to get a cop to do it, agitate a cop. Like, not like the cop wants to do it. They'll agitate a cop, or they'll say you're racist, right? You got friends here and there, or even somebody the same color as you, maybe tattoos you. You got people in a town that usually they won't even fuck with you unless you were being a real dick. But if they don't use the cops to do the dirty work for them by agitating cops, they can agitate people. You got friends that are another color, and they'll say you're racist. And and unlike other cities, a lot of people of another color or whatever, even if they believe the shit, they might, talk to themselves. But, you got other cities where you get, excuse me, maybe white or black, they have a few beers in them, and it says, oh, I'm going to beat that son of a bitch with that. People love to do that shit. I remember I have friends that had ex-wives and ex-girlfriends that wanted to get their boyfriends beat up, get them arrested. And there's people that, I don't know, want to get people audited, your ex-workplace, your supervisor, get them audited, or if you're a person that kind of has a business or something, your own business, and another person that owns a business down the street don't like you, you fall out with them and they want to call the cops, I don't know, and get you audited, you know what I mean? I even made a remark about a workplace that done me unfairly. I didn't actually do it, because I don't know, what am I going to say? There's nothing proof. IRS, they audit people. They do it anyway. Like I says, I had it done to me where I just didn't bother to file a W-2 for this other little job. They come back on me a couple years later, and then I had to pay, a little bit. Big deal. It happens anyway, whether you're a taxpayer or whether you're a working taxpayer, whether you're in a business, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's people play their damn games, you know what I mean? And you're walking around with a chip, people want to find the shit on you. It's up to you if you want to say, oh, everybody, because they're in authorities, are out to get you. But all I'm saying is people can agitate them and tell them some shit, and, they feel like there's something that, if they, any authority got to check you out, and they can, you know what I mean? And like I said, in my town, what it is they are catching people, there's public drunkenness, and I don't know, in other cities, it's illegal to drink, but they will actually, they do get people when it works that way, you know what I mean? And yeah, it happened to me once. I'm all outraged. Who the fuck does this motherfucker or think he is calling the cops and doing that shit? You know what I mean? So the way a cop said it to me, drunk. I'm like, me drunk? Well, anyway, if any of you guys watching and you get drunk once in a while, I'm not saying it's a crime, but you got to be careful. Don't walk in front of a fucking car. And there is laws that about shit like that they can get you for. You know what I mean too, but. They even do it in the daytime because, well, you get a town like mine, you'd be smelling all kind of other shit, it's drifting from places, and you at the very least, like, not that there's gang stalking, like they're all out to get you per se, but you at the very least, there's people that want to at least cut a new notch or get their promotion by, maybe they'll roll the slot machine, how this guy looks, whether he's black or white. Oh, look at this freak. I know he's probably into something. Let's have him checked out. Yeah, the police informants, they're out there, they work, and you got the informants that are in your places. It's not entirely honest in that either, but they do it, it's almost like they do catch people. They are catching some dangerous people that way, you know what I mean? But But you're going to get one somewhere and, oh, look at this person walking around like with this chick. Who the hell does he think he is? We know we're just going to spin the slot machine. Some of them actually think maybe you have something. And what it did for me is like, now I won't even think about it, not even a beer. I don't even go to my bars down here and all that. I don't got the fucking time. My philosophy, I got the money I have. I got to watch the money. And then when you're poor, like says, I told you the story earlier in this video where I had my one better paying job, lived across a restaurant. I started out as minimum wage when I had my first apartment. My fucking point is, I don't know how the fuck other people do it. I work next to some of these people. If they don't live in, say, projects, you get these other dumpy apartments. They're in a back alley. They're a fucking $500, $600, $700 or more just for a fucking back alley dive. And these people that they're, drinking and are getting high is so important to them that foods last on the list. So you get these people. Some of them have not to be. I know I got people whether they have tattoos or not to attack anybody, but you got these other fuckers. If they give you dirty looks, you're not in their culture. Yeah, police looking at you, but yet you got these other people. You're not in their culture. They give you dirty looks, and they're accusing you for they accuse you of being in league with the police. But you get these people. They're busting their ass to pay on a rent, maybe barely making above minimum wage. Maybe tattoos, but they got these skinny girly arms right in these bony chests. I seen some when I try to apply for a job at a place landscape and mowing. They're sitting at a picnic table during lunch, and there's a trailer in here. Shirts off, they got these, beards, and they got these skinny girly arms and headbands, and they're all like they're really strong and built like a little thing. And they're giving you this look, shirts off it. They got these bony chests, these girly arms, and you can tell that all their money, what they make, plus their ass for a year, they maybe pay their rent late, hardly eat, drink beer first, and whatever else they smoke, and then I don't know whether they buy food or get, free food at the food banks or whatever the hell. But not that I'm judging anybody else about how they look. I got some people that are not on my business that are actually nice to me. I ain't judging either, I don't give a fuck who anybody is, but you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. But I get dirty looks from these cliques in these workplaces that I've been that are into that, and you get dirty looks and you get heckled or whatever. They have this thing, oh, you must be a snitch for the police. They're fucking paranoid. And you may have some other on the other side and think, like I said, I had a damn person related to me. He's probably still in prison right now. He's always doing shit. So, yeah, it's quite normal that even if you have a clean record or whatever, and you're related to somebody, even if it ain't every single day, they're gonna check your ass out or a little surprise. Well, I don't drive, so they ought to stop me on the street. And since it very rarely happens, I'm like, oh, what? My thing is, instead of all that, I'm not all that fucking cop, that fucking pig. I'm like, I am one of them person that a statement a cop will say, it sounds like some bastard that I knew. And I'm like saying, I'm saying, oh, so-and-so, that son of a bitch. I bet that sounds like, it's not the cop talking. The cop tells you he's talking to you for this. And I'm thinking, oh, the cop's saying this, but I'm thinking, oh, that's fucking so-and-so talking, all that. But yeah, you're calmed down and you're doing what the police tell you, but you're like stomping mad and you're like, oh, that son of a bitch. Oh, God damn it, I swear. If he gets me beat down or eventually sends cops to my door or and tells some lie on a he said, she said. Because of the creepy fact that it's just because any random... I think it's fucking creepy that even though they do catch some pretty high-profile, dangerous people on the news that way, I think it's creepy as fuck that any random stranger can just call the cops, maybe because they're fucking mad because you didn't get out of their way in time, and maybe you were supposed to be using the crosswalk and you're trying to or they don't like you. Maybe they're driving by every day. They see you every day. They're driving by somewhere and they're giving you this dirty look because they don't like you. That any random individual can just call and you automatically, you know what I mean? And God knows what else can happen. I mean, not like it, to be fair, any cops want to do that shit, but if they get irritated enough by a very convincing and dramatic call, they will do it. I think it actually gives me the creeps, that what? Yeah, I mean, even somebody you were friends with somewhere, or I don't know, ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, ex anything, or random stranger, just on a he said, she said. But once they know you and maybe check you once, they're not going to fucking do it every day. You know what I mean? They get your information. Like I said, they're going to check and see if you have a rap sheet. I think a lot of the time they're going to be satisfied. Okay, he don't got a rap sheet anyway. You got the neighbor, the old busybody crowd. Hey, he don't got a record. He's just very smart, clever. But yeah, people. There's people that really are in the shit, and then the way I look at it, there's these people that really love their lives. They want to get something on you, and when they don't get it, they they're gonna be candles in their place and doing it as some kind of a chant. Keep believing. Yeah, keep. It's damn near a religion to them. Keep believing. Go and have some kind of occult like thing in your little room. Along with your cross and your Jesus and your Bible and the other sub religion. Like do your little chant. He's a crackhead. He's a crackhead. He's this or he's this. He's that. Just because you don't want to be fucking wrong. It's like